Let me turn on my microphone so you can hear me. Hope everybody's doing well, and thank you for joining me on this live stream. A little bit last minute, but wanted to get on here as quickly as possible since we haven't had a few for a couple reasons, but definitely want to get these live streams back on track. Want to get a couple things back on track for you guys, so information is spread, and we have some more participation in our events and everything that is going on that is Masters Boxing. First of all, I just want to make sure everybody can hear me. Please be a participant and get in the chat room, check it out, the whole deal, you know what I'm saying, and let me know how things are going. Give me 1 second. Let me do this real quick. What does that mean? Alright, let's see here. Can everybody hear me and all that, or are we experiencing some difficulties here? I'm not sure. Let's see. We have 9 viewers. We have 5 comments, it says. So give me a second. Let me figure this out real quick. Let me see what's going on. Here we go. All right, here we go. Kristen, we got Maggie, we got Glynis, we got Kristen again. All right, you guys can hear me. Great intro. Thank you, Maggie. Appreciate it. I can hear you loud and clear. Good to see you healthy. Thank you, Adrian. All right. Looks like we're doing okay. So we'll keep it moving. We are live streaming both here on Facebook, the Facebook group, and then we're also live streaming on the YouTube channel. From this point on, well, I shouldn't say that because we always kind of go back to it, but most of the time we're going to be live streaming on the YouTube channel. We want to try to grow that channel as much as we can, and for a couple of reasons. Number one is we want to get Masters Boxing out there to the YouTube realm, or whatever you want to call it. But number two, also, we want your family members, people that want to watch you that might not be able to go to see you compete or whatever. We want to use our YouTube channel as a source where we're going to be doing our live streams. We're going to be testing a couple different things that'll be coming up where we test them out to make sure that we have no issues. There's some information that I'm going to share with you guys a little bit further down the line on this live stream about some of the events and everything, but we want to grow the channel just so that way everybody can go to those channels and know that's exactly where it's going to be, where the the tournaments will be shown and all that. At least the ones that I'm putting together, that'll be the channel for the live streams. All right. Let me start off by congratulating everybody that competed in both the Rude Dog tournament in Florida as well as the Gleason's tournament out in New York. I hope everybody had a great time, had a great experience. Obviously, someone has to win, someone has to lose, but it doesn't have to take away from the great experience it is to be a master boxer and be able to compete in some of these events. From what I've seen, most of the, just about everything has been positive, which is great. That's what we want. And I know they did a great job of and spent a lot of time and money to put these events together. So big shout out to both Rude Dog tournament and the Gleason's tournament. Again, hope everybody had a great time. Hopefully within the next couple of live streams we can get some of the people that competed, maybe even Paul and Jill, and kind of go over, do like a little recap or something, and that way you guys get a full, for those of you that weren't able to make it, get a full look of how the tournament went and how it was to participate in these tournaments. All right, let's get started with some of the information for the tournaments coming up. First of all, let me, Vegas is always kind of a anomaly because it's such a big tournament, and for me personally, one of the challenges, and Rick Avery, who partners up with me, one of the big challenges is to be able to um, get that tournament organized, get the place that we're going to use as the venue as early as possible, because we have international boxers that come from Australia, Canada. We had the UK, just a bunch of different places. And not just that, but also for our local, our homegrown here in the United States that have to submit for vacation time or set up their travels and all that kind of stuff. For us, for me especially, it's very important that we get that done as soon as possible, as early as possible, and give you guys information as early as possible, to make hopefully the travels, to make the expenses and everything that comes with it a little bit less strenuous for you guys, knowing what to expect as early as possible. With that said, this all goes into saying that we locked in the Orleans Hotel for the 2026 Las Vegas Masters Championships. So it will be held at the Orleans Hotel. And we're working on the room rates. So we will hopefully have those as early as possible as well, where you can reserve your room, have that done, and not have to worry about it. The one thing that will happen is, like I mentioned before, that the cost of entering the tournament is going to go up to $200 instead of $165. And part of the reason, obviously, the reason for it is the expense of the venue. It's probably 3 times what I would normally pay for a venue. But at the same time, I think it's important. It feels good to be able to stay in the hotel, have the event in the hotel, and everything's right there. You know what I mean? So the cost will be going up to $200, but the way that some of you should look at it is that now you don't have to Uber to a location, so that's going to save you money. The hotel there, you don't have to do any travel or any additional travel or anything like that with what's there at the hotel. So it'll save you, it'll balance out with the savings of not having to travel. The other thing is too, when we have the tournament, a lot of the hotels, because there's going to be other things going on, a lot of the hotels are going to be extremely expensive. For those of you that have gone to the tournament, notice that during that weekend, prices are around $300, $350 a room, per night in some of the other hotels. Even there at the Orleans, they go up to about $250, $300 during that time. So we're going to get the rooms at an incredibly great price. I don't want to say exactly what the price is until the contract has been signed, but we're looking in the range of about $130 a night. Okay, between $120, $130 a night, I believe is what's being discussed. Okay, so so there'll be a savings in that as well. So in the long run, I think you guys will be saving more money than spending if we had a different location that maybe cost a little bit less, but it would still cost more with Ubering, hotels, different hotels, all that kind of stuff. All right. Anyway, so I just want to let you guys know we are confirmed for the Orleans Hotel. As soon as everything gets done as far as contracts and those type of things, we will be reaching out, not reaching out, but we will be putting registration opening up and everything. As you guys know, the registration fills up really quick. So, so be aware of that. I will put a date out once we're ready to do that. I will set up a date where registration will open, and then we just go from there. All right. Registration is important for us as early as possible because it lets us know more or less what the interest is. Are we going to have the 300 boxers that we had this past year, or are we going to have less? So we can adjust to whatever that is. that number is going to be. Okay. So you guys know, those of you that participated in this last Las Vegas tournament, we did have 3 rings going. We will only have 2 rings going, and part of the reason why is because we don't have any other event going on after us. It's just us and only us. So that'll give us more room for spectators. As you guys know, we were really crowded, especially on Saturday. Really crowded in there. The atmosphere was fantastic and everything. But part of being crowded was the extra ring that we had to have, because we had a time frame that we had to get out of there because there was another event that was going on right after us, which I'll never do again. That just happened because location and different things that were going on. But again, this is just going to be our show only. And so we can go as long as we want. With 300 boxers and 2 rings, I expect us to go to about between 5 to 6 o'clock, both Saturday and Sunday. So, you know, and we'll get more into that as registration opens up, starts filling up, and we know more or less how many boxers we're going to have. All right? Any questions about that, please let me know. Let me put something here because it won't refresh without me typing something. So, so if you have any questions about that, please let me know, and we'll address any questions and answer any questions and address any issues that you guys might have. All right. Brad Ginn is over on the YouTube channel. He's saying it's all good. Awesome. Appreciate that. All right. Okay, so that's what we have for Vegas. Adrian Bihara says you got to bring your own chair. No. We'll have enough chairs. We'll definitely have enough chairs. Again, what was happening is we were pretty much at capacity, which was, you know, again, it was fantastic that we had so many people there. But again, with the 3rd ring being out and only having 2 rings, there's going to be plenty of space. We'll have plenty of space. We're going to have the other room also, you know, where you guys were wrapping up and stuff like that. So we'll have that room as well. And we're going to have a couple different things that'll be coming up for that. So stay tuned with Vegas. That's going to be, it's going to be major. We're going to do some major things. Obviously, we're going to have to look for some sponsors and stuff. But, hey, it is what it is, right? We're going to do the best that we can with what we got and try to make it all work out. All right? Okay. So, again, any questions, post them up, all right? So let's go into the next tournament, which will be, I believe, San Diego. That'll be on the list. Again, right now we are at, let me see here. Take a look real quick. I think we are close to 100 boxers registered. So if you're planning to compete in the San Diego tournament, please make sure you register as soon as possible, because what's going to happen is as soon as we get to about 110, 120, registration might close unless we see that there's an interest where we can raise it up to 200, but that'll bring in a 2nd ring, that'll bring in more officials, another doctor. So before we commit to these expenses, we want to make sure that we're going to have enough boxers to actually need those things. You know what I mean? We don't want, the last thing I want to do is spend more money and not need those things. All right. So please, if you're planning on registering and competing in the San Diego tournament, please register as soon as possible. We are working on a hotel. Hopefully I can have that done within the next week or so. Again, when it comes to dealing with hotels, you know, and especially when your event's not in the actual hotel, it becomes a struggle, a little bit of a struggle. So we're working on it. Hopefully we can get some price discounts on the hotel for San Diego. So bear with me on that. We are working on that. All right. And then we have for the New Jersey tournament, just to let you guys know, we will be doing some things, some special things to honor some of our some of our boxers and some of our people that are no longer with us, that were a big part of our Masters boxing family. Obviously, one of the losses that we've had was Greg um, over in New England, in the Boston, Massachusetts area. Um, for those of you that don't know, he was one of the co-founders of Masters Boxing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, because I think it's only fair to kind of tell his story with Masters Boxing and what we've shared, what me and him have shared as far as Masters Boxing, and his side of what was going on at that time, why they created Masters Boxing, and all that kind of stuff. So on one of these live streams, it's going to be dedicated to his story and his participation in his help of creating Masters Boxing. And for me, it was important to have him be a part of Masters Boxing still, because he was also an official, and he did different things for USA Boxing, as well as his outside life. He did his own thing, but for me, it was very important to bring him back to Masters Boxing, and being one of the co-founders. And it's why I always tried to have him as one of our officials at our tournaments, both in Vegas and in Boston. And he was always invited to all our events. Try to bring him out to so he can enjoy the fruits of some of what he started. You know what I mean? But I'll get more into detail with his story in one of our live streams. I want to take my time to really get all the information and not miss, as I talk about it, not miss certain points, certain important points, and certain things that he played a really, really big part of to be where we're at today. So stay tuned for that. I'll definitely put that together. Maybe have some of his friends come on, and obviously he was big for all of us. You know what I mean? We could we'd have our disagreements and all that, but we always knew that we cared about each other, and we cared about Masters Boxing at the end of the day. So anyway, I'm going to put some of that stuff together. All right. But at the New Jersey tournament, we're going to do something big where we honor a lot of these boxers and people, influential people for Masters Boxing that are no longer with us. Do something special for them. All right. So I'll announce more as we get a little bit closer to it. And also, if you're participating in that tournament, again, the earlier you register, the more it helps us out, because it allows us to see who's on there. We do have some master boxers that are a little bit difficult to get a match for, so we want to see where we're at, and then if we need to, try to reach out to people to try to get them matches and all that kind of stuff. You guys know how it goes. All right. So yeah, so that's where we're at with those. Adrian says 3 rings were cool because it kept the bouts number at a decent number per ring. Waiting till the 30th or 40th bout is grueling. I hear you, Adrian. But the other thing too is, remember, we ended up starting about 12 o'clock and we were done by 2:30. You know what I mean? So it's not that bad to add another. If we add another, per ring, if we add another, 12 to 15 bouts, it's not gonna, we'll be done by about 5 o'clock. You know what I mean? So it's not gonna be, 10 p.m. when the next bout comes out. You know what I mean? So we'll be fine. Greg is featured in Rick's book, Hardened Warriors. Yes, he is. So if you haven't gotten that book, Rick did a great job of kind of interviewing a lot of the people that have been participating in Masters Boxing throughout the years, and Greg was one of them. So if you want to hear a little bit about his story from the interview that Rick did with him, that's a great source. I'm talking about personal conversations and personal things that we talked about from years and years. I'm talking about like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when I first was getting into, finding out about Masters Boxing and what that was. And I'll go through some of the history that was going on at that time, because at that time, another thing that was popular was also the white collar boxing that Gleason's had going on. So it was kind of at the same time that these two things were happening. So anyway, I'll get more into that later on. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Let me know. Post them up. We're here to have a good time. All right. So with me, I don't like to talk too much about myself as far as what's going on with me and certain things and whatnot. It's just, I don't know. It's just not what I like to do. But being that I'm in a situation now, health-wise, where there's gonna be times where I'm gonna be off. So just so you guys know, if you're trying to reach out to me in a certain time where I'm not getting back to you guys in a timely manner, there's a reason for it. All right. So I've been diagnosed with cancer. The good thing is it's stage 1, so my chances of beating it and all that are really, really good, which I'm very happy about. But the other thing is also I have, this is the whole thing about this whole family thing with Masters Boxing, is I have people that have gone through this and can answer questions for me and different things that, as the process goes through, that I can ask and, just get information from and get support from, you know what I mean? So, so I'm very grateful for the brotherhood and all that we have. Give me a second. Give me a second, please.
Were you expecting someone else?
Sorry, I better turn my mic on. Sorry about that. I just get emotional when I think about certain people and whatnot, But what I'll do, it's hard for me to talk in camera and all that. So I'll put up a post and I'll keep you guys updated with what's going on. At this point, it's just kind of the process, what the process is going to be, schedules and all that kind of stuff. It looks like I won't be affected as far as the tournament dates and all that, where there might be some changes, might be for the camps. We have the New Jersey camp in a couple of weeks, so that I'll be fine for. I'll be there for that. But the Vegas and LA camps might not happen. So I'm kind of working on that with the doctors and, what treatments are going to be and when they're going to be and what kind of effect they're going to have and all that. So just bear with me. There's a lot that I'll have to go through as far as processes, information, and all that. So like I said, I'll keep you guys updated on anything that changes schedule-wise and stuff like that. So so again, just bear with me. So let's keep it moving. So next up, on Tuesday, we're going to try to get this done this weekend. Me and Brad Ginn are gonna do a little interview on VR boxing. So it's a virtual reality um, boxing, and there's some great things that you can get out of it. Brad actually is the one that turned me onto it, and I think it's a fantastic workout. I think it's fantastic for, especially, it's great for anybody, but especially if you're far away from a gym, where I know some of you guys might be an hour and a half away from a gym. So it's hard to get there on a daily basis. This could help you out with conditioning and some of the things. It doesn't substitute sparring or things like that, at least that I know of. But Brad Ginn knows a lot more of it. For those of you that don't know Brad, incredible boxer. His record speaks for itself, you know what I mean? And so he'll be on with me, and we're gonna go through all of it. I think he wants to share some of the screenshots, you know, of how it works and what he sees and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited about that, because it's something that I've been wanting to share with all of you for a while. And again, like I said, it could help out everybody, but especially those that have a hard time, you know, getting to a gym and all that. Now again, especially for those that are new and all that, this doesn't replace sparring or anything like that. I think sparring is very important because it teaches you how to react when you get hit. This is a combat sport. It is a sport where you do get hit. So as great of a defense that some might have, at one point or another you get hit, and it's how you react. You know, that's what sparring brings out, you know. So I'm looking forward to that. That's something that we'll do. As a matter of fact, check this out. I'm gonna show you guys. Okay, so let me show you guys this real quick. So this is where me and Brad Ginn will be having a little conversation. We have him all set up already. So Brad, I'm trying to get ahead of the game, you know what I'm saying? Get things set up for you and everything. And obviously, you know, he'll be the lead on it, because he's been doing it for a while and has done an incredible job with it. So yeah. All right, so here you guys can see some of the comments. I appreciate all the comments. Thank you. I appreciate it, and we keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? This is just something that happens, and not the first one, won't be the last one, but we're all fighters, and I'm definitely one. So we'll get through it. All right. Also, one of the things to kind of get things moving for us a little bit more, I would say, on the more kind of hyping things up a little bit. I showed this before, but just so you guys can see, we're gonna start doing some of these things, especially when we know we have like a matchup that we know will be there and all that. We want to kind of hype you guys up as main eventers and those type of things. We're working on live streams to where it's not going to cost anybody a cent. Hopefully we can put that together, and you know, just bring things to where when people can start seeing it on a live stream without any issues and things like that. Bringing things before the tournaments happen and just kind of hype you guys up. So here's one of the things that we'll be doing. And some of you guys have seen this before on the live streams and everything, but we'll have your picture up there. We'll have your, you know, your stats. We'll have your opponent's picture, your opponent's stats and everything. And, you know, have you guys be main eventers in the tournament and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, just some little graphics to kind of help promote. And, you know, people always ask, oh, what age are they? Or what, you know, how old are they? What's their weight? You know, all that kind of stuff. So, within all these things, it'll answer a lot of questions as well. So, it'll answer a lot of the questions that people might have and stuff like that. What do you guys think? Give me some feedback on that. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll go from there. If it's something that you guys feel like it's a good idea, we'll roll with it. If not, then we won't. You know what I'm saying? It's very simple. I keep things very simple, very simple. All right. The other thing too is I'm working on a new little segment, I guess, that I want to do for our live streams, which we were doing some of the interviews and things like that, for the boxers and some of the officials and different people that are a part of our family. But one of the things that I want to it's what I was thinking about calling it, and you guys saw kind of in the intro a little bit of it, the war stories of Masters Boxing. So I want to bring in some of you guys that have had some of the bouts, and then talk about the bout. Maybe like if you have quite a bit of experience, like say for example of Brad Ginn, right? And I'll do this with his interview, is have him talk a little bit about maybe his toughest bout so far in Masters Boxing, and what it was, how it happened, and what were the feelings, and what were the feelings after, and what that made him do when he got back into the gym, and those type of things. The war stories of our division. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would be kind of cool, and see what you guys think about that too. So just kind of bring in some of our master boxers, and it's not only for experienced boxers. It could be someone that had their first bout, and what was that like? You know what I mean? That's their war story so far. You know what I mean? So hopefully it's a catchy little title, and hopefully it does well within our live streams. I'm gonna try it out, see what you guys think. At the end of the day, this is for all of us. So if you guys, as a group, we decide, hey, maybe it's not working out, then we don't have it. But I do want to take a little bit of time to do that, and get some of these stories out there, because I think it's important we start documenting our division. You know what I mean? Because 10 years from now, 20 years from now, there's going to be other faces and other people, and we want them to have a catalog of where Master Boxing is now to where they take it, 10, 20 years from now. You know what I mean? So I think it's important that we document, and just like, Greg not being here with us, I wish I would have done an interview with him and had video of his experiences, and all that. Though we've had conversations, and my memory's still good enough to recall these conversations. There's still a difference when you hear it from that person, you see the person, you see the smile on their face when they're talking about the sport and all that, you know what I mean? So I think it's important that we start doing some of that stuff, and hopefully within this we can kind of formulate that, which leads into the next thing, which is the Masters Boxing magazine. I'm still moving forward with that, doing some interviews. Again, some of the things that have happened to me have kind of slowed things down a little bit, but for those of you that told me that you were interested in being a part of it, please don't think that's over with. I will definitely reach out to you, and we will definitely make it happen. So that's still on the table, and I'm hoping to release the next issue of the Masters Boxing magazine in July, and it'll be available. Hopefully I can have it available at the San Diego tournament if somebody wants to purchase it. It will be available digital as well as print. So some of you guys that have been around for a long time, you oldies but goodies, know that from the previous issues, if you ever ordered one of the magazines, it's high quality, and that's why it also takes a little bit of time. All right, as far as the printing and all that, my writing, I don't know. I will ask for those of you that want to be a part of it, that might want to help with editing or stuff like that. It would be most welcomed, because I can tell the story, but my writing isn't great. Okay, hit it a couple times in the head, that happens. But anyway, so we are moving forward with the magazine as well. So that's another thing to look forward to. And again, this will help me out too with things that I'm going through. These are things that I love doing. So this will help me through that as well. And this is how I have you guys with me as well. So, so looking forward to that. All right. The other thing I wanted to do, because I know some of you guys, I didn't want to make this live stream too long, but I think it's important. We did the awards for the 2024 yearly awards, and I think a lot of people missed them. And so you only saw pieces and bits. I still have the awards here, which those of you that were the winners will get your plaques really soon. Hopefully I can get them out to you at the start of this coming week. All right, plaques are done and everything. I wish I had one with me. I don't have one with me right now, but they're done. They'll be going out to you guys. All right, but let's do this. All right, so these are the awards we went over. The first one is the Doc Doherty Award. Again, this is for a representation of what Masters Boxing is. Some of these people have gone through, again, we have one that has gone through cancer and beat it, is fighting it again and is beating it again. We have one gentleman whose brother committed suicide, and it's important for him. The big thing was mental health is a big thing for him, and so on and so forth. Obstacles and overcoming these obstacles, representing Masters Boxing how it should be. So here we go, the Doc Doherty Award. Check it out. All right, there you go. The Doc Doherty Award goes to Daniel Campiello from New Jersey. Big shout out to him, and hopefully we're working on doing an interview with him, and so he can tell his story and everything, and you can expect to see it hopefully in the next issue of the Masters Boxing magazine. So I want to hold back on his story because I want it to come from him and whatnot. But congratulations to him. Congratulations to all the nominees. They're all amazing, amazing people. Dan Borum, Doc, who are fighting cancer right now, and great news is that everything is looking great for them. Big shout out to them. They're a big inspiration for me as I start going through what I need to go through. But again, this is the beautiful thing about the family and Masters Boxing. All right, let's go to the next one. Is the International Award for Masters Boxing. Check it out. Shout out to Kevin Bass for being the winner of the 2024 International Master Boxer of the Year. Again, tough choices, but there could only be one. But shout out to all the others. Did a great job. The international scene is man, it's getting good, which is what we want, right? We want more competition. We want more people competing in the events. And I'll tell you, these internationals are really, really bringing the heat. So shout out to all of them. Congratulations, Kevin Bass from Canada. Well deserved. And yeah, here we go. So the next one is the female or the women's Master Boxer of the Year. Oof. Women bringing the heat too. I mean, any of those four ladies could have won this, and it would have been great. Kirsten just kind of stood out just a little bit more. She's done a fantastic job. You know, she's ready. So congratulations to all the ladies. Great job. And we're going to be working on seeing if we can increase the participation of the women. We're going to be doing some things. I've talked to Maggie Seawright, who was one of the nominees, and there's a couple other women that have approached us to put something together to where we can really put it out there that Masters Boxing is out there and that the women are participating. You know what I mean? So there's still a lot of areas where the knowledge of Master Boxing isn't there. People don't know that it exists, and so they don't compete. So we want to change that. So we're going to be working on some things to hopefully change that. All right. Congratulations, ladies, all the nominees, and congratulations, Kirsten from Minnesota. Great job, and keep it up. All right, here we go. This is for the men, the Master Boxer of the Year for 2024. Here we go. And there you have it, Mr. Brad Ginn, winner of the 2024 Male Master Boxer of the Year. Well deserved. Again, the competition is stiff when it comes to these awards, and you know, Brad just has stood out, and you know, he definitely deserved it. Again, no slack to the other three gentlemen that were nominated. Great job, and any of them can win it in 2025. I can say that for sure. But congratulations. I just wanted to bring this out. Hopefully we have more viewers today, and then that way they saw what it was, and hopefully enjoyed it. All right. At this point, this is all I have for you guys. If there's any other questions, let me check Facebook here. Yeah, see, I don't think Kirsten knew that she was one of the winners. So, so yeah, I wanted to make sure that they saw it. The groups would stand in corner men team to help out the boxers coming without corners. They can register without corner. know ahead of time who needs help. Michael. Okay, let me. There's a couple of comments here that definitely want to go through. Let's see here. Michael has a good point. So he says, "Hey Manny, let's see if I can. Hey Manny, should try to have a set group of stand-in cornermen team to help out the boxers coming without corners. They can register without corners, so you'll know ahead of time who needs help." Michael, yes, we do that already. So we have coaches that volunteer to help out the boxers that don't have a corner. Here's the hard part is we would be able to assign corners early so you know who the coach would be and whatnot if everybody showed up on Friday. Unfortunately, we only get a small group that shows up on Friday for the meet and greet, which is understandable because flights, cost, different things get in the way at times. Okay, so it's not mandatory to show up on Friday. So that makes it tough to assign a coach beforehand, because once we start going through weigh-ins and everything, it's kind of we're kind of just going through, like, things start just moving really quickly. Okay, we've done okay with the system we have now, but we can definitely improve it, that's for sure. And that's something that we'll work on to see how we can kind of get things situated a little bit quicker, so the boxer has a little bit more relief. Okay, I don't have to worry about that anymore, because I know how that could be, especially if it's your first bout and all that kind of stuff. So we'll definitely work on that. Thank you for the comment. And it's something that I will definitely write down and try to figure out a way to make that a little bit better. Okay? And then we have congratulations to all the winners. God bless you, brother. And you are always here to take care of us. We will be there for you. And I know that, Sean, and I appreciate that. And that's why this group means so much to me. And that's why I invest so much time, because it really is a family to me, and very special. So I appreciate the kind words. Thank you. This is all I have for you guys today. We will do a live stream on Tuesday. We will have our special guest, Brad Ginn. We're going to be working on that, so I'm excited about that. And then I'm going to reach out to some of you guys ahead of time so we can be ahead of the curve, and with some of the interview stuff and all that. So that way we can have our shows be consistent. And even if there's a situation where maybe I can't do the live myself, I can program it to where the live stream will happen at a specific time, specific day and specific time, and it'll be pre-recorded. You know what I mean? So I just want to get consistent with all these things and everything. Glennis says, I can only make Sunday sparring. Is that okay? Of course, Glennis, you're always welcome. So we'd love to have you, whether it's Saturday and Sunday, or if it's just Sunday that you can make. Would love to have you, Glennis, for sure. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys at this point. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the well wishes. And we'll see you guys on Tuesday, if not sooner. Okay, hold on. Adrian just had a post. You spoke of boxers that are hard to match up. Shout out to Sean McFadden for facing Brad at Floater Rude Dog on short notice. Respect, definitely. And see, this is the other thing too, man. I mean, we have people that are willing to step in. Sean McFadden is a bad boy, man. He's a bad boy. I have all the respect for him. But even now, even more, like, Brad wasn't gonna have a match, and the worst part of some of these things is when your opponent doesn't show up. There's things that happen where all of a sudden you're there and you don't have a match. And great job, for Sean to step up, and great job. You guys had a great bout, and that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. Respect to all of you guys. All right. Other than that, thank you, everybody. Much love, respect, And again, Tuesday, I'll see you guys again, if not sooner. That's where we're at. All right. Peace, everybody. And hopefully everybody liked the new intro. Spend a little time on it. It's going to grow. There's going to be more people added to it. I wanted to kind of get more of our master boxers in some of these things. So as we go along, we'll have more of it going on. All right. I'm blabbing now, so I better get out of here. All right. Thank you, everybody, once again. Peace, love, and respect. All right.